Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 Mackle back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. Tonight is Thursday, September 24th, 2020. This is episode 548 of The Daily Dope. So, welcome aboard. If you have not joined me in the past, let me point out it's a very, very casual show. Just mainly talk about the latest in tabletop gaming news. Every once in a while, like tonight, we'll talk a little bit about PC gaming. Sometimes pop culture kind of enters the mix, but for the most part, it's all tabletop gaming around these here parts. And of course, do also want to mention that if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell, because not only will it let you know when I stream the Daily Dope live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming look at Unforgiven, the Abraham Lincoln assassination trial, which is from Green Feet Games. This is coming to Kickstarter in October. This just showed up today. Very, very cool. So I also do want to mention that this show is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. We're just hanging out, having some fun, talking about tabletop gaming. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, you should visit thegaminggang.com. for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Also, because this is a live stream, keep in mind, chat is available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. I do have to point out, sometimes the chat does fly by pretty quickly. So, on occasion, I kind of miss out on some of the things that are going on in chat, depending on how many people are hanging out. So, once again, it looks like we're having issues with drop frames tonight. And I went and I changed a bunch of different things today, and it looks as if none of that has actually had any effect. It is showing that we have dropped about 27% of this stream so far. So this is really, really getting to the point. This is getting very aggravating here, because all week long it's been like this. I have no idea what the problem is. I just did a quick test stream that was private a few minutes ago, and everything was fine. So I don't know. I honestly think this might be a situation where they're trying to make me go and use the other streaming, though. That's what I don't get. I don't understand. And now we're suddenly dropping off to 0 kilobits per second. I don't know. So first off, I'm going to go take a peek here, because we have not had anybody say howdy in chat. So let's see what we've got. If somehow we are not. Once again, this happens all the time too. Well, not all the time. It happens once in a while. That we do not get chat showing up correctly. So I don't know. We'll find out. I'm going to go jump in here. So it is showing it. We are streaming live. It does show that there are people watching. Yeah, see now, crazy enough, now this stream is all the chat is showing up in the other stream. So, okay, so I'm showing in this, it's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Open the widget. Okay, well, that tells me nothing. It says the stream status is poor. So, yeah, thanks. It says, oh, clicking on this, it says, hey, things require your attention. It's like, yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing. All right, so we'll see what's going on here. So I am going to pop out the live chat from this other window. See, this is the bizarre thing, right? So, okay, now it's saying that the stream health is excellent. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what's going on here. Anyway, so it says, "We see you, Mr. Dope." Okay, righty. Don't make me bust out the band hammer here. All right, let me get rid of some of this stuff here. So I had the other. So the funny thing is, when I was trying to kind of segue over to the other, like the new streaming studio for YouTube, I tried it and then the chat didn't work. So everybody was in the other chat. And now, tonight, I go and take a peek at the new studio because I'm trying to use the classic studio. And all the chat is showing up there. So it's like, all right, so at least I've got chat. Let's get that down here. So far in chat, we've got Scott Weigel, my good buddy from high school. Looks like Scott was the first one out the gate on chat tonight, saying hi. The Madman's here. Kevin R. Smith is here. Bones and Banners is here. Bones and Banners, my name is not Mr. Dope. And the Madman said, hey, they've been MIA a bit between game night, parents visiting, and the wife's birthday. Well, a very happy birthday to your wife. And here's hoping that your parents had a good visit as well. So, yeah, so once again, this is all over the place. So let me jump in. I'm going to try something here. And the funny thing is, I even went in to take a look at NVIDIA's recommendation as far as the settings in the stream. And I've set up exactly what NVIDIA was recommending I do. So I'm going to change this up. I'm going to change up my rate control a little differently. We'll see what we get with that instead of a constant bit rate. Fingers crossed, who knows? It's looking like about a quarter of the frames have dropped. All right. So, shall we get into the news? It's only taken me 9 minutes. Sometimes I wish this was alcohol instead of, Pepsi One. All right. Okay. So, wow, that's kind of weird. So Bones and Banner says, sorry, thought you were the Daily Dope. No, the name of the show is The Daily Dope. Flaming Huron has arrived as well. Good to see Flaming Huron here. So Bones and Banner says the stream looks good. They're across the sea in Europe. I don't know. It's weird. It shows me that we're getting all these drop frames, and it shows that the kilobits per second is all over the place. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. I have no idea. And maybe it's something that Comcast has done because that's our internet service. I don't know. I honestly do not know. So usually the video looks pretty awful when we get all these drops frames. Anyway, all right, let's jump into the news. Let's hope things don't completely fall apart. So Kevin Smith says they've seen some drop frames on their TV for the first time, including now. All right. So the other thing I could look to do But the thing is, if I do this, it's gonna have a really big delay. Let's take a shot at this. I wonder if I can change this within the stream settings, because I can't do it. I have to actually do it through hang on, where are we at here? I have to do this in the actual YouTube settings. So I don't know if I can change this while it's streaming or not. Let's take a look here. No, I can't. Rats. Because I can increase the latency. So I can increase the latency, but then I was testing that out earlier today, and it was like 25 seconds after I'd say go like that, then it would actually show up in the video. So I don't know. I have no idea. All right, so we'll take it from there. Let's jump on into the news as I pull up chat once again. Now up for crowdfunding on Kickstarter for The Wood Games. I'm not familiar with them, but it is Nico Harbor, the card game. Here's the dope. Nico Harbor, the card game. All right, moving along. There we go. Thank you. Nico Harbor, the card game, is re-implemented from A Pleasant Journey to Nico, which is a dice strategy game released in 2018. Nico Harbor, the card game, keeps the spirit of the game and tries to access more players with its simpler and faster gameplay. You've arrived at Nico Harbor and are planning to travel around the Antarctic Peninsula to see different kinds of penguins and perhaps other creatures as well. Travel in the Antarctic is not easy, however, and for some trips, you even need a license to get in. Nico Harbor, the card game, is a strategy card game for 2 to 4 players. Each game lasts 2 periods. Each period comes with a mid-game scoring. Each period contains 2 phases, the drafting phase and the action phase. During the drafting phase, players take cards from the display until they have 6 cards in hand. During the action phase, players will take turns playing a card from hand to build a preparation line until all cards have been played. With these cards, players can get resources, move ships, trigger special actions, and probably take free actions. The most intriguing part of the game is that players need to build the preparation line with cards and create ideal combinations between the cards, as cards create a hub that provides players with a bonus when ships arrive at it. Additionally, players should acquire enough licenses for their journey to go smoothly. After 2 periods, the player who has the most penguin points wins and is clearly the one who saw the most penguins in the Antarctic. Gotta mention, there's no video. There is no Kickstarter video for Nico Harbor, the card game. I'm kind of surprised. I would have liked to have seen a bit of a video to share. But the game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, plays in about 45 to 60 minutes. It is very, very close to hitting its funding goal. You can reserve a copy of the game for a $30 pledge. I do not believe that it includes shipping. And this company is not in the United States, so just tossing that out. But you can reserve a copy of the game for a $30 pledge through October 20th. Expected delivery is fairly quick. It's expected to deliver in January of next year. Nice. I like these kind of nature sort of games. This almost seems like a bit of a card drafting, quick engine building game, because it looks as if you draft your cards from what's out probably on it says from the display. So I'm assuming so many cards will be dealt out in each of these 2 rounds. And then everybody goes around the table taking their cards. So Kevin R. Smith says, Nico Harbor is like a mini deck building game where everybody sees all the cards currently in hand. Question mark. I would like to see a video with a clear explanation and maybe a play example. I think there is an example of play on the Kickstarter page. There's just no video. So, but this looks kind of interesting. This could be kind of fun. And it is a kind of like reinvention of a dice game being made as a card game. So I've got another Kickstarter, which looks pretty interesting. This is from Spider Goat Games. They've launched a Kickstarter for an expansion to their martial art card game. I've got the dope on martial art clans. The critically acclaimed martial art returns to Kickstarter with its second expansion, Clans. Featuring historic Japanese artwork, martial art is a card game of factions warring for dominance of feudal Japan. The game takes place over a series of battles in which players must anticipate their opponent's actions, build their hands, and manage their cards to acquire enough land and power to defeat the other clans. As clan leader, command your armies and muster forces to conquer places of economic and cultural significance, such as the capital Kyoto or the rising city of Edo. But to secure victory will take more than foot soldiers. Provoke a peasant rebellion, influence the emperor to support your claim, and even distract the enemy commanders with lovely geisha. Really? Okay. Cool. Successfully funded on Kickstarter in 2016, the martial art base game is available here again, along with the first expansion, Battlefields. The Sengoku period was an age of nearly perpetual war in which the leaders of the great clans vied for dominance. To represent the clan leaders' effects in war, 8 of the major clans of the Sengoku period have been added to the game, each with a unique clan power and leader. At the start of the game, you'll choose one of the great clans and take the corresponding card. These cards describe your clan's special power that you can wield to swing battles in your favor. Additionally, each clan comes with a leader, a powerful card that you may take into your hand when you win a dojo. Dojos are new lands that come with the clan's expansion. There is a short video. There is a short Kickstarter video. It's about 45 seconds long. Let's jump on in and take a quick peek.
Martial Art is a tactical card game in which the great clans of feudal Japan war for dominance. Lead your clan in a series of battles where you must build your hand and select your best troops for the front line, while also keeping a watchful eye on your opponents. Published in 2016, Martial Art quickly became our most popular game as it met with acclaim from players and critics. The base game is available here again, along with its second expansion, Clans. This expansion adds unique clan powers, leaders, and dojos. Clan powers give you abilities which you can use to build your hand or increase your strength in battle. Leaders are exceptionally powerful cards around which you can build entire strategies, and dojos offer interesting new decisions in land selection. Rise now and lead your clan to glory.
The project for Martial Art Clans is fully funded. You can reserve a copy of the Clans expansion for a $9 pledge through October 22nd. Expected delivery is March of next year. In this same Kickstarter, you can also get the base game for $12 and the battle expansion for $9. So a grade A says critically acclaimed. From what I saw on the Kickstarter, there was I want to say there was a Dice Tower review, not from Tom Vassell, but from some of his correspondents. In fact, I think it's the married couple that does some reviews for them all the time. I forget what they can call themselves, Married with Games or something like that. So maybe that's what they're talking about as far as critically acclaimed. I don't know. I am not familiar with this game. I do like the look of it. This looks pretty interesting. It appears that there are cards that represent different locales that you're battling over. You've got like infantry cards and you've got special effect cards. This could be kind of cool. All right, moving right along. It is Thursday, so that means there's a new free game over on the Epic Games Store. It's only one this week, but it is Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition. Here's the dope. Your park your way. Whenever you want to create whatever you want to create, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 gives you the tools and freedom to build the amusement park of your dreams. Manage like a tycoon and make your way to the top. Control park finances, shops, services, and staff to succeed in dozens of scenarios. Become a true tycoon and embark on your promising new career, or create your ideal park without money woes in sandbox mode. Satisfy your guests' needs and keep your park running smoothly to succeed. Get ready, get soaked, and venture into the wild. This complete edition includes all content from both Soaked and Wild expansion packs. Relish the added challenge of creating and managing exhilarating water parks and spectacular animal habitats. This is enhanced for PC. Play Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 in widescreen for the first time with full 1080p resolution and increased compatibility for new PC hardware. Ride the rides. Ride your creations with Roller Coaster Tycoon 3's signature coaster cam. Packed full of content, you're free to fill your bustling park with more than 300 coasters and rides, 500 scenery pieces, 60 shops and services, and 20 animals to rear and raise. You can also create your own guests and experience your creations through their eyes. Wow your visitors with custom laser light and firework displays to delight and dazzle. There is a quick 33-second video. Kind of shows you what the complete collection is like. So let's jump on in, take a peek. There you go. Talk about fast video, right? So once again, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition is absolutely free at the Epic Game Store through October 1st. So Rob German has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Rob. So the Madman says they just picked up RCT3 today. I had it as well. I have never played any of the Roller Coaster Tycoon series. As Rob German points out, he is not either. One game that this is from, I believe the company is now called Frontier Foundry. I think they were called Frontier something else before. But they also make the Planet Zoo, which looks awesome. Except I have heard that the DLC, where you add additional animals to your zoo, is kind of a ripoff, but it does look really cool. I started messing around with this a little bit, taking a peek at the tutorial, the first tutorial, and I gotta say, graphically, it looks pretty good until you zoom in really close to like the trees and bushes and stuff like that. Not so hot, but from a distance, looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. So Kevin Smith says, hey, just realized chat was frozen on my Chromebook. Had to refresh the page. Let's move on to some role-playing game news, because now available in PDF from Free League Publishing is the Symborum Adventure Pack 4. I've got the dope. Once a conversation dies out, silence falls like a heavy blanket over the world. The sudden cracks of the fire resound like hammer blows in your ears. To make any noise at all feels like a violation of the unnatural stillness. The world is absolutely quiet, mute, like the dead. In the darkness beyond the wavering ring of light cast by your campfire, even the moaning of the wind has ceased. As long as you were on the road, the silence was hidden behind the sounds of the journey. Stomping boots, creaking backpack straps, clattering cookware. But even then, the surroundings were eerily lifeless. Not even the buzzing of insects could be heard. Irina says she saw a bird passing north during the afternoon. The rest of you nod agreement, none of you truly believing it. This is northern Albertor, on the border between civilization and the dark. You have not traveled very far from the cliff of Corinda, but still, it is a wasteland abandoned by both humans and wildlife. The only creatures you can expect to meet are the dead that have risen again. They are out there somewhere in the darkness, in the silence. Adventure Pack 4 features 2 scenarios that in different ways relate to the growing internal divisions within the Ambrian realm. Call of the Dark plays out in the northern territories of the lost land of Abirator. Abirator? Let's say Abirator. That sounds kind of good. Where the player characters will accompany a low-born noble who is looking to prove the status of her family. The second adventure, Retribution, initially deals with the search for a person who has gone missing in the city of Karun, but is soon shown to involve events which may have serious consequences for the relationship between the peoples of the Devankar region. Naturally, the player characters have a chance to influence the outcome of the stories, provided that they handle all the challenges that stand between them and a happy ending. This 112-page PDF is available at DriveThruRPG for $12.99. I gotta say, I don't really know much about Symborum, except I think, and I'm sure someone out there watching will correct me if I am wrong, but I believe that this is kind of a darker fantasy. I'm not saying, well, what would be, it's not like Shadow of the Demon Lord. I was trying to think of, but I believe this is more kind of a bit of a darker, grittier, more kind of like European fantasy role-playing game. I think this is kind of like a low magic sort of system. Do want to mention the artwork that I am sharing is not from this adventure pack. So I felt bad. I wanted to throw some extra artwork in there. So these are actually images from other adventure packs for Symborum. So Melwinius says that they bought the print version of the Alien RPG, and damn, a new adventure series for Symborum. My wallet hates me. So Melwinius also points out it is a great dark fantasy RPG. Yeah, that's what I thought. There we go. And Melwinius is pointing out it is not as dark as Shadow of the Demon Lord. Very cool. Very nice. So this looks pretty cool. Speaking of Free League or Free League, did talk to Boelle. She let me know last night that yes, the standalone adventure, the cinematic adventure, the boxed adventure for Alien, the role-playing game, is on its way, as well as the Alien role-playing game starter set. Trying to remember the name of that adventure too. It's like, but yep, pretty cool. Pretty cool. So Rob says it looks more exciting than avocado fried rice. What? Come on, avocado fried rice? That's amazingly exciting. All right, my final news piece. The Traveler Sword World supplement is now available in PDF from Mongoose Publishing. Here's the dope. The Sword Worlds lie just beyond the Imperial border, a distinct cultural region settled long ago by refugees from a civil war. Theirs was a tough existence, but it produced a people both proud and resilient. Their history is one of internal and external conflict, wars for dominance of the Sword Worlds, and wars against the Imperium. Sword Worlds details the people of the Sword Worlds Confederation as they've never been seen before. Their motivations, their strengths, and their weaknesses, along with the truth behind Imperial stereotypes of reckless, space-going chauvinists and the darker side of their culture. This book examines how the worlds of the Confederation interact with one another and how a technologically outmatched people have managed to stave off Imperial dominance for so long. Their armed forces are technologically simple, yet incredibly resilient. Their navy is very different to that of the Imperium. Mine layers, torpedo boats, and orbital defense platforms defend the home worlds, whilst battle cruisers raid deep into enemy territory. Sword Worlds reveals secrets and little known facts about the Sword Worlds Confederation. The Gimli Endeavor, really, Gimli, eh? Which strives to preserve Sword World's culture against any and all disasters. The Home Gang Compact, which scores are settled illegally with honor. The Sword Worlders' near obsession with their tragic hero, Admiral Denisov, and the Lost Swords, colonies that may still exist far beyond known space. The Sword Worlds Confederation is a complex place, and at times a dangerous one. The Sword Worlders themselves are misunderstood by outsiders, but one thing is clear: they are proud and quick to anger, slow to forgive. The Sword Worlds is a region where only the brave should venture, and where courage is a key to success, or a noble death, or perhaps both. The 176-page PDF is available over at DriveThruRPG for $29.99. I really like second edition Traveler. I think Mongoose has done a pretty good job. I reviewed the starter set, which is essentially Traveler, right? Instead of having just the one core book, it's broken up into 2 books, but it's everything the same. My beef is their PDFs, they're too expensive. Mongoose Publishing has got to rein in their pricing, because $30 is what I would expect to pay for a 176-page soft cover, not for a PDF. That is crazy. Come on, Mongoose. Get with it. I think, honestly, not to go off on a tangent, and before I go off on this little mini tangent, let me once again remind you that, yes, both the Adventure Pack number 4 for Symborum and the Sword Worlds for Traveler are available at DriveThruRPG. The Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are affiliated with the One Bookshelf site. So if you are going to swing over to, say, DriveThruRPG, please stop by the Gaming Gang first, click on one of our banner ads, and that way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. Very little portion, but they all add up, and I really do appreciate it. There are a lot of people out there who do use our banner ads before they go over to, say, DriveThruRPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, what have you. Anyway, I was going to say, well, let me grab a quick sip here. So yes, so the discussion is the title of the boxed alien role-playing game adventure is called Destroyer of Worlds. Funny thing is, I know the premise of the adventure. It's like, but I couldn't remember the damn name of it. I kept thinking it was Chariot of the Gods, which is the first standalone cinematic adventure. And basically cinematic, what they mean by that is it's a one shot. It may not take one session to play, but it is a one shot. So the Madman says that he always uses the banner ads over at the Gaming Gang. Thank you very much. Viper Dave has popped into chat. Very, very cool. A Great Ace talking about how he ran several Traveler games when the starter set came out. I think the starter set is awesome. I really do. I think it's fantastic. It is a bit pricey compared to other starter sets out there. But they got, Mongoose Publishing is not a huge publisher. It's not Paizo. It's not Wizards of the Coast. But then again, I think more people would play second edition Mongoose Traveler if they got their pricing in order. And some of their releases, number one, now I have not seen everything, right? I've only seen a few things for Mongoose Traveler, and what I've seen I've liked. But I have heard through the grapevine that it can be very hit or miss, that sometimes they will release something that is pricey and not really worth it. So I don't know. Like I said, I think if Mongoose just could rein in their pricing on their PDFs and stuff, I think you would have more people playing their game. To be honest, taking a look at 176 page PDF and I see it's $30, it's $29.99. I would not be jumping at that. And yes, I do get it. It's a role-playing game. We get a lot of value out of our role-playing games. We really, really do. It's probably the best deal in entertainment you can get. Personally, even better than board games, because as Ken Hite had told me in the past, and I've mentioned this before, if you're looking to make money in gaming, you don't get into role-playing games. Because you can come up with a great core book, release that, and people don't need to buy anything else ever again. At least clever game masters do not. All right, so that is it for the news tonight. Looks like we're doing all right as far as it looks like we've kind of steadied out a little bit as far as the drop frames. Our kilobits per second is still kind of bouncing around, but hopefully the stream is a little cleaner, a little. I want to mention some stuff that showed up, and one other item that I want to pontificate about. First of all, I did mention this. If you showed up a little later, I received Unforgiven, the Abraham Lincoln Assassination Trial board game, which is from Green Feet Games. I will show that. This is coming to Kickstarter in October, and the fine folks over at Green Feet Games were kind enough to send me a pre-production copy. I did take a peek inside, and it looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. So here's the yes, Melody says, Clint Eastwood, Unforgiven. That was the first thing that popped in my head when I saw the title. So here's something bizarre as I try to put this stuff back in here. I don't recall. It's because I talk to so many people through internet, emails, and Twitter, and Facebook, and the interwebs. I don't really recall discussing this game, receiving it. And here's the thing that I point out to people, because I have people contact me from time to time, like, hey, I want you to take a look at our Kickstarter project, and I'd like to send you a prototype. And I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. And then they're like, yeah, and then I need you to send it on to somebody else. And I tell them I don't do that. Because for one, I don't charge anybody to do the videos, which almost everybody else does. Almost everybody else charges for their Kickstarter previews. I do not. So I hang on to what they send me. So that's kind of my payment. So it's sort of like, it's kind of weird. I don't recall. I'll have to look through my emails. I'm like, So this showed up. Other items showed up today. I was just talking about this yesterday. The Few and Cursed, which is from Rock Manor Games. This showed up. This looks pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. As I mentioned before, it's kind of a post-apocalyptic Wild West, Old Western kind of game. So Grade A is talking about, yes, Unforgiven is designed by Tom Butler. That is correct. A Grade A. Very good. So the Madman says, stream got much better. Looks like it was dropping some frames again, though. Actually, as long as it doesn't completely drop off, usually we're okay as far as the actual video itself. I don't know why. I don't know what the deal is. What I am going to try to do is I'm going to try to increase the latency. See if that helps us a little bit on next week's streams. But yes, this is something, it's really irritating me, because we went for a long time where we would have entire streams where there were zero drop frames or maybe we'd have 50 for an entire hour show. Here we're looking at over 24,000 dropped frames. About 17% of the frames have been dropped. Other thing that makes me wonder is, do I try to go to 30 frames per second as opposed to 60? I don't know, because if I go like this, it'll look very weird in 30 frames per second. I don't know. Maybe we'll give that a shot. It'll make everything have more of a film look to it. Okie dokie. So, anyway, there was one other thing that I was going to mention, and it was something I ran across on Twitter today. And it was someone that I follow. They mainly will kind of, D&D. They run D&D. So Melwinius is asking if I run Windows 10. Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. So Flaming Heron says, well, it's already in slow motion, so slower isn't the issue if I go to 30 frames per second. No, it probably wouldn't. But the thing is, I don't know if that would change how many frames get dropped. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out something is up. Something beyond my control is going on here that I am not aware of. But this person had tweeted, and I guess they're one of these people kind of upset about, some of the things going on with Wizards of the Coast. Probably, most likely, the fact that Wizards of the Coast said that Mike Merles wasn't working on D&D anymore, and he was. And I know a lot of people were upset about that. So they were talking about how when we're talking about game masters, we should, unless we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, we should never refer to game masters as dungeon masters for other games. And I thought, who does that? So I'm kind of curious. I know the people watching, my constant viewers, constant companions on my stream here. I know a lot of you play role-playing games. A lot of you run role-playing games. Do you ever refer to the game master as a dungeon master in games other than Dungeons and Dragons? Because I just don't think that's a thing. And this person was tweeting saying, oh, well, if we're going to have people try other games other than D&D, we have to call the referee. We used to just call him a referee way back in the day. And that kind of covered everything. We just said, oh, the ref. But I was going to say that their assumption was that people do that a lot. And I don't think that's the case. I certainly don't. In fact, I have a habit of accidentally referring to dungeon masters when I'm talking about, say, a D&D news piece. I'll say game master. So it's like, oop. It's like with Call of Cthulhu. The game master is the keeper. So I try to remember, call it the keeper, not the game master. Just like the players aren't player characters, they're investigators. So the Madman says that his game groups refer to him as the dungeon bastard. Flaming Heron says, I just call everybody a GM. That's what's usual for RPGs. Yeah, I agree completely. So there's some discussion. Melwinius is asking, I will check this. See if I have the search index or service running. Yes. I know about some of these oddball Windows things that they like to try to squeeze in under your radar, where your virus, which I do not run Norton or anything like that, because personally I think it's garbage. But I do run the Windows Defender and stuff like that. They'll be trying to update Windows Defender whenever they feel like it, and it's constantly trying to update. I know what you're talking about. I will double check it. So, a Great A says, GM's been our standard since about 1985. Yeah, I agree. So, Kevin says, I don't, but I've seen some people, usually beginners or casual players, do it. Damn you, casual players! Damn you, newbies! Joking. A Great A says, other than the usual profanities. Kevin says, yeah, I think GM is pretty standard for most people who play multiple systems. Yeah, I mean, when I'm talking about games, like with just hanging out, yeah, I say the GM. I just go GM, period. When I am talking news-wise, if I'm doing a stream or I'm doing a review or something like that, I do my best to call the game master by the title that the game product utilizes. Although I got to admit, I'm going to have a really hard time with the Alien role-playing game with the game mother. Because I get where it's coming from the Alien franchise. I just find it bizarre. It's kind of bizarre. All right. So Melwinia says once they disabled the search indexer, that the computer worked fine. I've got loads of memory. I have got loads of CPU. I'll be the first to tell you, I am looking right at OBS Studio, and it is utilizing 1.1% of the CPU. So it is not an issue with, do I have enough horsepower? Do I have enough RAM? I've got 6 gigs of GPU memory too. So yeah, it's got to be something odd. It's got to be something weird going on. And it's got to be something that has changed this week because we haven't seen it going on. What I will do this weekend is I will also look to download and test out the release candidate for OBS. I think it's 26 because it's not released yet. It's not an official release, but you can get their like, I don't know, like beta. I think it's pretty close to releasing, but I think it's beta. So Great A says, I'd never refer to anyone in a game as mother unless there's the added F-bomb at the end. Yeah, I know. That is kind of odd. So a Great A says, I was once told to refer to someone as Dungeon Master instead of DM, and I left that group. Yeah, that's weird. I got to be honest. I am so thankful. I have never, at least I don't recall, ever playing in a role-playing game. Okay, I take that back. Now I can remember one time, but that was at a game. It wasn't a convention. It was like a game weekend. But for the most part, I have never run across anybody who was a game master who was like really, really weird about it or on a super power trip because they were the game master. That's just stupid. I don't know. So Kevin says that their TV just dropped the stream and switched to another Gaming Gang video. Wow, that is weird. And then people are asking, hey, did the stream just end? That's weird. I don't know. Insisting on being called a master all the time sounds pretentious at best. At worst, it sounds like how Jack Chick thought D&D was played. All right. So, yeah, it looks like we're getting some drop frames back again. All right. That is it for tonight. It looks like people are getting kicked out for some strange reason. Getting bumped over to Seth Skukowski. That's weird. And I like Seth. Okay, so it is showing we're at 0 kilobits per second for a second, but it did not show we dropped. So let's wrap this up. Anyway, as I like to point out, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And of course, if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little notification bell because not only will it let you know when the Daily Dope streams live, Monday through Thursdays right here on YouTube, it'll also tell you when I upload other videos as well. So, of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody who watched live, thank you very much for once again having to screw around with whatever is happening with the stream here. If it's my internet, if it's something on YouTube, I don't know. I am going to investigate this even more over the weekend. Of course, this is the last show for the week. No shows on Friday. So if you watch live, thank you very much. If you don't have an opportunity to watch live, I really appreciate the fact you watch after the fact, maybe even on Memorex. I have a soft spot in my heart for anybody who takes time to watch any of the Gaming Gang videos. Of course, everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday night / Friday morning. I'll be back on Monday. So, as I have been pretty much chiming out on all my videos during this pandemic, I do hope that you stay safe, be smart. See you Monday. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again,